So this is just kind of a spur of the moment winging it idea. Yeah, I'm kind of winging it on this one. As you know, my channel is dedicated to mostly horror films, comedy, skits. I dabble in a little bit of everything. But this is my content based channel. AFMB Pictures is originally my content based channel. It's where I put all of my short films, my short skits, what have you. So for most people that have seen my episodes of Let's Talk, for the most part, I'm a big fan of the horror film genre. As you can clearly tell by everything that you've seen from the bathroom, where am I? I'm very inspired by mainstream and underground horror, mostly underground horror nowadays, because that's really where things are starting to shine. I mean, shout out to the up and coming filmmakers, Ari Aster, Zach Kreger, um, fuck, really, I really almost forgot his name, and he's my favorite. Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers. Just watching Nosferatu. I'm on my 10th viewing of that. I'm kidding. It's way more than that. I actually saw that opening day when it came out because that movie is just absolutely amazing. That man does not miss. Another up and coming horror group are I cannot pronounce their names. I just know them as the Raka Raka Twins. Yeah, if you can give me their names because I always forget. I just remembered like that's where I first saw them, the McDonald's skits, the angry McDonald's skits, Rocka Rocka, like that's one of my favorite YouTube channels. Fast forward to them doing a crowdfunding for their first horror film, Talk to Me, and their most recent one, Bring Her Back, both which are fucking amazing movies. But the one thing, and I think we can all agree on this, is there are a lot of horror films that kind of share a common denominator. They kind of share a common problem, and that's mostly a lot of the horror film franchises. They share a very common denominator. If you can guess, it is this: they don't know how to fucking end. A lot of horror movies do not know how to end. They don't know how to end a franchise. Friday the 13th never knew how to end a franchise. Nightmare on Elm Street didn't know how to end their franchises. They think they did. They always thought that they did, but cash grab. And they're still talking about getting Robert Englund back to play as Freddy Krueger. The man's damn near 80. Let that man breathe. If Tony Todd hadn't passed, God rest his soul, they probably would have tried to pull a Wolverine and have him play that role till he's fucking 90. RIP to the GOAT, Tony Todd, by the way. Still have to see Final Destination Bloodlines. I know I'm late on that. But back to the problem at hand. And I call it a problem because it's kind of a problem for me. And it's not just horror movies, it's movies in general. They don't know how to end. They don't know how to properly give their protagonists and antagonists a send off. And one that has always been on my mind since I watched the final installment of this trilogy of the David, or I call it the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy. Ever since I watched that, the ending to that, I watched Halloween Kills, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm pretty sure, and I know Carpenter's probably not going to say anything. I mean, hell, they just paid him to do the music, so no offense there. If you're throwing that kind of money at me, you know what? You do what you want to do with it. I wouldn't have done it like that. I'm pretty sure that's what he was thinking. But I always had an idea in mind as to how to properly, what is the proper way to end the Halloween franchise? What is the definitive way to put an end to that saga? Because let's be honest, 2018's Halloween was off to a very good start. Act one and act two were breathtaking. The opening of that movie was absolutely amazing. I would not change anything. The Laurie Strode mental breakdown, I wouldn't change that for the world. They had a great start. Now, how it ended, that's the problem. That is my biggest gripe. And I'm sure that's not just my gripe. It is a gripe with a lot of Halloween fans and a lot of horror fans in general. So I've been pondering and pondering, like, what would have been the perfect way to end this saga? Like I said, the first and second act of the first movie, fantastic. I would not change anything. Michael Myers, 40 years in Smith's Grove, great. We're disregarding the fact that any of the other sequels ever happened. We're disregarding the fucking Rob Zombie reboot or remake or whatever. We're disregarding that. We're disregarding all the sequels, a lot of which John Carpenter did not get paid for. We're disregarding all of the bullshit that came in between Halloween 1 and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Minus Halloween 3, because I actually really enjoyed Halloween Season of the Witch. That's a very underrated sequel, and that doesn't even need to be argued. But I'm digressing. What would have been the perfect way to end it? First of all, I wouldn't have made it a trilogy. I think that was the first bad idea. Now, we all know why most horror movie requels are getting trilogies nowadays. I mean, they're about to do it with Scream. They just brought back I Know What You Did Last Summer. They're still trying to do it with The Exorcist, which, God, I really, really hope that they just kind of forget about that and scrape that under the rug, because that was not a good return of that franchise. But first of all, yeah, I wouldn't have made it a trilogy. You don't need to make that a trilogy. Halloween did not need to be a trilogy. That could have been a one and done film. That could have been the ultimate send off. It could have been the ultimate John Carpenter swan song. Here's how I would have done it. Like I said, I would not have changed the first act. I really wouldn't have changed much of the second act. The pace was so good. Michael Myers, Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Laurie Strode battling her demons, battling the 40-year nightmare that is Michael Myers. That is perfect. Don't change any of that. But if you're going to have Michael Myers escape from Smith's Grove Sanitarium, then yes, Laurie needs to be his ultimate target. Laurie needs to be his ultimate target because, let's be honest, Laurie was the one that got away. Laurie was the one that got away. Now, another thing I would have done, and this would have been a huge risk. I don't know if you would have been able to do it because, honestly, 40 years, Dr. Loomis, yeah, I kind of feel like he probably would have passed away anyway, even in the fictional world. So maybe let's disregard that, or let's put it in the film. Let's put that in there. Dr. Loomis, consumed with his obsession to try to understand Michael Myers, it drove him to suicide. How that plays out, you know what? I'll let you guys be the judge how that plays out. But I think that would have been a good way to do it. It would have been a decent tribute to Donald Pleasence. I know that sounds kind of fucked up, but Donald Pleasence, unfortunately, is already no longer with us. God rest his soul. Now, moving past that, Michael escapes. Once again, you guys were off to a great start. You were off to an amazing start. Great. Keep that going. Here's what I would have changed. I feel like, and I understand, once again, I know why it's a trilogy. You're going to have survivors to go into the second one and to go into the third one. My idea, fuck the trilogy, fuck parts, fuck Halloween Kills, fuck Halloween Ends. We're going to end it with Halloween on Halloween night. Michael escapes from Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Laurie Strode is his primary target. Laurie Strode has tried to move on in life. She has an adult daughter who kind of resents her. She has a granddaughter who is curious about her grandmother's past. But here's the thing. Laurie's granddaughter is displaying a few mental tics that could be hereditary, that could have skipped Laurie's daughter. I cannot remember the daughter's name in the movie. I know the actress's name, Judy Greer. I've seen her in damn near everything she's been in. But Laurie's mental dysfunction has somehow skipped a generation and it has gone to Allison. Here's where Allison doesn't necessarily become the center of the story, but she kind of becomes the driving force. Laurie's daughter wants her to desperately move on from all the bullshit, move on from Michael Myers, let it die. He's gone. He is locked up. He is not coming back. Unbeknownst to the daughter, Michael has escaped. Laurie, who has constantly been keeping tabs on Michael, she has constantly been keeping tabs. She has been secretly visiting Smith's Grove. Yes, Lori has been visiting Smith's Grove just to check to see if that motherfucker's still there. Armed to the teeth. I'm talking about the trunk locked and loaded, making sure that this motherfucker is deep in that cell. He is not going anywhere. Anywhere. Hell, she might even send him food. Michael gets out. Lori knows. Nobody else believes her. Nobody else believes her. Michael returns to Haddonfield, leaving a blood trail. Anyone who gets in his way. And here's the thing. The only people that Michael kills are the ones that get in his way. This Michael is not just driven by evil. This Michael is driven by Laurie Strode and only Laurie Strode. He returns to the only place that he remembers her from, Haddonfield, Illinois. Haddonfield, where it started, and in his mind, that is where it is going to end. Michael finds Laurie's family. He finds the wife, he finds the husband, he finds Allison, he finds the boyfriend, he finds the friends. Anyone that is close to Laurie is on Michael's shit list. So that means Michael is leaving a blood trail. It starts with unknown victims, victims that really aren't related to him. But once again, these are just the motherfuckers that got in his way. Maybe pedestrians, maybe some asshole at a bar, maybe a cop that recognized him like, hey, no, they're not getting away. Michael plucked them off. They're gone. So now people are trying to wonder, okay, who's doing the killing? And don't even let it be a large number of people. Like I said, just people that have somehow come across his path. Maybe 4 or 5 people. Laurie knows that it's Michael. But nobody else believes that Laurie knows that it's Michael. They don't believe it's Michael Myers because that happened 40 fucking years ago. Haddonfield has forgotten about Michael Myers, but Michael Myers has not forgotten about Haddonfield. He has not forgotten about Laurie. Laurie is the primary target. So now they're still not believing Laurie. Now the terror hits home. First person on the list is Laurie's son-in-law, the husband. Husband's first to go. She takes out the husband. Let's say they're at a gathering, or they're leaving a party or something like that, you know, and I don't know, like I don't know, I didn't necessarily write out how he was going to. I just know this dude's gonna go. He's gonna be the first to go. Now, you think it's gonna jump to Laurie? No, Michael's not done. Michael's not done. Like I said, this Michael's not just evil, he's calculated. So now Michael's target, and this is where Laurie starts to find things out about him. Like the people that he's taken out, like the only person that he took out that really has been announced to her is her daughter's husband. Now Michael shifts his attention towards Laurie's granddaughter because he oversees Laurie talking to Allison. Michael finds out they're related. Okay. Now the fun can start. Michael targets Allison. He targets Allison's friends. Yes, once again, the Halloween dance scene that they had. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. But let's do it a little bit differently. Michael kills the boyfriend. Michael kills her best friend or the boyfriend's best friend, the one that secretly wants to fuck Allison. This all happens at a Halloween party. Michael just goes on a bloodthirsty killing spree and just plucks off everybody at this fucking house party. He just decimates everybody. And Laurie and her daughter find out. So now it is up to them. Okay, we have to save our baby. They go to that party. It is a bloodbath. It is an absolute bloodbath. The mother gets there first, tries to get Allison out of there. Michael kills the mom. Allison escapes by the skin of her teeth. Allison is running frantically through the streets, covered in blood, covered in her boyfriend's blood, covered in her mom's blood that she had to watch die. She finds Laurie. Laurie is armed and prepared to not only protect her grandbaby, but to kill Michael and to end evil. Yes, let's steal the line. Evil dies tonight. Yes, we're going to let Lori say it. Let her say it. Evil dies tonight. I hated that line in Halloween Kills, but okay, it would make sense here. Lori says, don't worry. I know a place that we can go. Michael's going to follow us, but he's not going to win. Trust me, you are safe with me. So where does Lori take Allison? To Lori's old home. Lori takes Allison to Lori's old home. Unbeknownst to Allison, unbeknownst to her mom, unbeknownst to the whole family, Lori has used this house as a trap for Michael. It's her old home. She has literally turned it into a fucking fortress, her old family home. She has turned it for death traps and everything. Kind of like how she did with her house in the original. I'm not sure if the house in the 2018 one was Lori's home from the original. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't. I could be wrong, but I mean, if I am wrong, cool. Fuck it. The old either way, it's the old Strode house because she knows that there's one or two places that Michael is going to go to look for Lori, either the old Myers home or the old Strode home. Michael finds his way to the old Strode house. Lori is prepared for him. Here's where the climax happens. Like I said, I didn't have Act 1 and 2 written out, but I damn sure have the climax and the epilogue written out, at least in my head. So here it goes. Here's where I would end this perfectly. All the traps, Michael kind of gets through them. Some of them kind of hit him, but you know, Michael is an indestructible force, especially when he has his sights and his mind set on one thing. Like I said, this Michael is vengeful. This is a revenge Michael. This is the one that says, bitch, you are not getting away this time. You got away 40 years ago. You are not getting away tonight. This is Halloween. This is my fucking night. Lori dies right here. So does her grandbaby. And then we get to the final confrontation. See, this is my thing. I would not have Michael and Lori come face to face until the very end. The very fucking end, like the hair climax. The final fight is Lori and Michael one-on-one. She looks at Michael, she looks at Allison, and she says, baby, go hide. Get out of here. Don't try to save me. Don't try to help me. This is between me and him. I'm not going to lose anybody else because of this motherfucker. Get out of here. Allison runs. She hides. Here's where the fight ensues, and it is a bloody confrontation. I mean, knives, hammers. Lori throws everything. Michael throws everything. They are slicing each other up. It is bloody. This will be the only bloody scene because it makes sense for it to be violent. I am all about necessary violence, and the final fight between Lori and Michael is necessary violence. Blood-soaked violence. I mean, they damn near kill each other. Michael delivers a crushing blow. He delivers the final blow to Lori, stabs her in the heart with his kitchen knife. He thinks that it's over. Lori has a knife of her own. It almost looks identical to the kitchen, but let's be honest, it's a kitchen knife. Anybody can find a fucking kitchen knife anywhere. She takes a kitchen knife and plunges that bitch straight through Michael's heart. They both fall. You think they're dead. Allison comes out of hiding. She looks at Lori. Lori's dead. Lori's dead. She looks at Michael. Michael's dead. She mourns over the death of her grandmother, and she tries to flee. Michael grabs her ankle. Michael still got one more fight left in him. But so does Lori. Lori gets up, stabs him again. Michael lets go of Allison. She screams, blood coming out of her mouth. Run, baby, run. Get out of here. It ends right now. You are living through this. Get out of here. Allison runs for her life, frantic, still traumatized by everything that she has seen. Michael turns his attention back on Lori. He may not get Allison, but he damn sure is going to get Lori. He's going to get somebody. He crawls after Lori. Lori remembers that she cuts the gas valve on the stove. So there's gas fumes leaking all over the house. She cuts that valve. Michael grabs her by the throat. He gets that kitchen knife and he's holding it right over. And just when he thinks he's about to deliver the crushing blow, Alice, Allison, Lori pulls out a lighter, looks Michael straight in the eyes, tears his mask off, and pulls him close, lights that lighter, and she says, "Happy Halloween, Michael." Blows the whole fucking house up, kills both of them. It's the end, right? No. It ain't over yet. Like I said, I'm all about dark endings. I am all about dark fucking endings. It is not over from here. Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward 9 months. 9 months. We cut back to Smith's Grove Sanitarium. There's a new head doctor of the sanitarium. He is walking with a journalist. And they're talking about a murder case that happened in Haddonfield where there was only one survivor. There was only one person that survived. And they're talking about Michael Myers and the murders that happened 40 years prior. We cut to a white padded cell. And we see no other than Allison. Allison has been driven to madness. She has been driven to insanity. She is in a white padded cell where Michael once was. It cuts back and forth between the doctor talking and Allison. Allison is kneeled towards the bed. She's rocking back and forth, back and forth. An orderly comes in and brings her lunch. He looks over and he sees Allison messing with something. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, kid?" Allison looks back and she smirks. Not a smile, but a little smirk. It's just a small enough smirk for us to cut away back to the doctor. The doctor and the journalist keep talking. As they're talking, the alarms go off in the building. Something has went down. There is screaming, "Everybody get in here. Get in the cell. Get in cell 18 or cell whatever." Everybody's running towards the cell. So the doctor and the journalist are running in the same direction. They get to that same white padded cell. What do they see? None other than Allison standing over the orderly that she just murdered in cold blood. And written on the walls, and here is close to where I would end. I'm not going to end it just yet. But they look on the walls, and written on the walls are the words, "The night he came home." And the doctor goes, "My God, what the hell is this?" And she looks at everybody and she says, "Happy Halloween." And she slits her fucking throat. Cut to black, roll credits. The Halloween saga has ended. Now, that's how I would end it personally, because I'm all about dark endings. I personally did not believe that anyone should have survived in the Halloween saga, because Lori and Michael killing each other is the ultimate full circle. That is the ultimate full circle because of their hatred for each other. When two people hate each other that much in any movie franchise, the only plausible explanation would be for them to kill each other. So that's how I would have ended Halloween 2018, thus being how I would have ended the entire Halloween saga. It would have came full circle. Everyone would have got their swan song. But eventually, in the end, nobody would have won. Because it's a horror movie. And the most horrifying endings in a horror movie are the ones where nobody wins. So that's how I would have ended the Halloween saga. But I would love to know your thoughts on it. Post comments down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're new to my channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. This has been the first episode of what I will call the Horror Talk series. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I've been your host, Eric from AFNB Pictures. And always remember, AFNB, always forward, never back.